When I'm not listening to the Big Sexy Digital Nomad podcast, I'm sad. What helps? Cruising. My name is Bill and I run Cruise Habit, a YouTube channel and website about cruising. Sometimes I'm vacationing, sometimes I'm doing the digital nomad thing from a ship, but whenever possible, I am cruising, or at least talking about cruising. I've got tips, tours, and more information to make sure you take the right cruise for you. Check out the channel and site by visiting cruisehabit.com/BSDN. That's cruisehabit.com/BSDN.
What up, sexy world travelers? It's your boy, Big Sexy, here with a big thank you to our big, sexy world travelers. They're the folks who went over to bullwiththebutthole.com and subscribe to the podcast. I want to say a big shout out to Billy with cruisehabit.com, Lee Popsicle, Margaret White, Angel Quo, Bree, Chris Lowry, Billy Dids, Jesus, Joshua Tarr, Michael McKenna, Sebastian Robbins, and Smitty Scoop. If you would like to have your name read out before the show, just become a big, sexy world traveler and subscribe to the podcast. Swing on over to bullwiththebutthole.com and join the fun. Safe travels.
This is not a drill, friends. This is not a drill. We are back. We are giving you some life. We are here after a little bit of a hiatus. Many of you probably already know the reason for the hiatus. We'll get into plenty of that here into the episode and catch up on what's going here in the world of world travelers and those of us who've been grounded for a little bit. Here's your host, Big Sexy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this is hitting your ear holes, I hope that's good. You may notice my voice is a little different. Let's hop right in. So I had a stroke, as most people know by now. It's been months. It happened on Easter Sunday, which also fell on 420. So I'm blaming it on that. God and marijuana got crossing my brain and stroked me out. I did a performance the night before with poetry and rapping. So it was a lot the night before. And then now this. I've been in therapy. The physical therapy. The good news is it's on my right side of the brain. So I still have cognition, speech. Just my left side doesn't function properly, which is good because that's not my dominant side. So I still can do things here and there.
And you're getting better as time progresses?
Yeah, little by little. I will need surgery to reduce to increase the blood flow in my brain. We need to get an MRI and a couple other tests to figure out which surgery I need. And we'll get that in the next week or so. We've been going back and forth with doctors and tests. It's been a thing. We had one doctor, very unscrupulous, tells us we needed surgery on my carotid artery, and we don't, according to 3 other cardiologists that we spoke to. They all said the risk of the surgery is greater than the issue. And you want to charge us 3 times the amount what that surgery costs. So the lesson is, kids, get more than one opinion.
For sure.
Yeah. So we went to Merida. Oh, I'm currently in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. We went to Merida, which is also in Mexico, and met with 4 neurologists to get next steps. And they all said, we need an MRI to know you need surgery, and we need an MRI to determine which surgery would be best for you. So that's where we are. Also, it's my birthday.
That's right. We are recording this on Big Sexy's birthday. That's glad to see you making it to another one here. And with the progress you've made and obviously finding the right doctors, we can expect many, many more, which is always good news.
That's the hope. You know, I'm gonna make the most out of every day I have and keep pushing strong. I'm really looking forward to the oodles and oodles of money that will come from the speaking gigs I get about this story and how I triumphed over adversity using silliness and playfulness and a true love of life and confidence. I'm gonna become a coach.
I think it's a great idea. I think I mean, obviously your positivity, your outlook, and we, early in this detour, let's call it, from the digital nomad journey, what we're doing right now wasn't possible. And we knew that this was temporary. We knew that we'd get back here. And here's the thing, full disclosure, everybody, this is probably going to be a shorter episode. You're probably not going to get an episode every week. We're going to do what we can, though. And we're going to keep this thing going. We're going to keep updating everybody on what's going on in our world. And I know it's been a while since anybody's dropped on and sent us any sort of emails, but please do. Now more than ever, being able to read this stuff on the air and what you're doing, our listeners, our world travelers. We hope you're
your stories
when we come back. But yeah, that positivity, that mindset, it's what makes everything that you're doing continue to be possible. And for who you've always been, no doubt, for sure.
It's been, and I'm grateful for the extensive community that I have both here in Playa and around the world. A big shout out to my friend Luca, who I talk to pretty much every day. She's in France, just got back from Romania. You remember I interviewed her when I lived in Romania, and the rest of the theater company, Spin Cycle Theater, who I've been working with sort of on my one act, on my full-length musical. I'm bringing that down to a one-act play to get produced in France, hopefully, so that we have to go to France to perform it and produce it. So hopefully that comes in the not too distant future. Every day I'm posting on Instagram Live. So listeners, you can check me out there at Who is Big Sexy. I try to remember to post on at Big Sexy Nomad as well. I don't always remember to post there as well. I do tag it though, but I often forget to go back in and add to the story. But follow there if you want daily updates. And yeah, just taking it day by day, one day at a time. A really big shout out to the Mexico community for really embracing and supporting and helping us out in so many immeasurable ways. Big shout out to the guys, Todd, James, Deepak, Isaac, Frank, and Keith. They've all helped me up and down the stairs. Because listeners, the apartment we're in now does not have an elevator. And we live on the second floor. And so I need guys to help me in my wheelchair get up and down. It's a lot, but they show up and help. So shout out to them. Thank you very much. The good news is, in a couple weeks we're moving to a place with an elevator.
Wonderful.
So I'll be able to get back on time. And you, sir, you've been busy.
I have been busy, and yeah, and in tradition of our theme, our goals, our everything we have here in a few months. Let's see, it's September next month. I will be. So this is how it started because it has grown, and not every element of my upcoming journey is public. So a lot of it's going to be revealed right here for the first time. So I was emailed several months ago, randomly and out of the blue, somebody asking me to submit my show or submit a show to the Barcelona Fringe Festival in Barcelona, Spain. And I think we've talked about, especially like when I did Rochester in the past, how a lot of these fringe festivals have like this centralized software that they use. So you can put all of your posters and your videos and description of your show and everything into this thing one time. And then as other festivals that you might be interested in pop up, you can say, hey, apply to this one, apply to that one. So when I was approached about Barcelona, it was on a platform that I was familiar with. I was already signed up for. I knew that it wasn't a scam. So, first things first, in today's internet age, anytime somebody comes to you and says, hey, you should do this, the red flags are already up in the air for me.
Yeah.
I am hyper vigilant on the internet and will continue to be so, mainly because it's not getting any better. It's certainly getting worse if anything
worse.
So I log on, I update this stuff because I've had this idea for a while, and I'm sure we've talked about it on here, but I've had this idea about doing a show that is a hypnosis show that is entirely or predominantly, let's say, audience driven. Kind of like an improv show, but not in the moment improv, but sort of. So the way that this is going to work is, and the way that I proposed it, is as folks come into the theater to see the show, they're going to be prompted. There's going to be slips of paper for them to write down an idea for a routine that they'd like to see in the show. And there'll be a board that gives some examples of like the very standard stuff. And don't, the encouragement is going to be, don't write one of these down, come up with an idea on your own. And all of that's also going to be baked into the ticketing page, so people signing up.
How many of those suggestions do you think you're actually going to get?
It's a good question. That's kind of one of the X factors of this. And I will always have a backup plan. So ultimately, I've got a framework in my mind for how a show will go, what types of routines you do early and as things build, because as a hypnosis show progresses, people get deeper and deeper into trance, which opens the door to do sillier things, more risky things. And I don't mean risky, dangerous, but I mean, hey, is this person where I need them to be yet? I have had shows in my career, and I think everybody that's done this for some period of time have folks that early on they think, maybe I'm going to send this person back, maybe not. They don't. And then they end up a few routines in being really, really great because they just weren't 100% where they wanted them to be at that moment, but they got there. So I'm going to have a framework in my mind, and ultimately it's going to be an exercise of me filling this framework with either routines that I know are going to work because I didn't get good suggestions, or putting in the ideas from the audience members. So my hope is, as I promote this thing, as the ticketing page is going to be clear, I'm going to have those examples, and even probably some examples of, you might want to take an idea like this and make it something. I want to prime the pump so that people have maybe an idea of what they'd like to write down before they come into the theater. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. There are certainly, I'm going out on a limb with this thing to some extent. So obviously I've told everybody that I'm doing this festival. So I applied, I got approved, like literally within like a week. So super exciting. I've never been to Spain. Obviously, Big Sexy, you've been to many, many parts of Spain.
Including Barcelona.
So yeah, how much time did you spend there? I know it wasn't a ton.
5 days.
5 days?
Yeah, we landed there after the cruise, spent 5 days, and then made our way to Malaga.
Beautiful. Yeah. So anything, what is something that I can't miss while I'm there?
The biggest church, something familiar.
La Sagrada Familia?
There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
Otherwise, the beaches are pretty cool. I'm sure the other, again, we were there for 5 days. We had enough time to get rid of a bunch of clothes and figure out where we're going to go next. And then sightsee a little bit, but not a lot.
So one of the things that I've learned in planning this adventure, which I'll get more into here momentarily, is that flying around or taking a train around through Europe is so different financially than in the US. There were options as we were planning and I'm going to share this with everybody here, but we're not starting in Barcelona. Originally, that was the plan. And then another opportunity came up. So our journey, my wife is coming with me. Our journey is actually going to begin in Berlin, Germany.
Oh, wow.
And while we are not going directly from Berlin to Barcelona, I was looking at flights, and we could have flown from Berlin to Barcelona for like 28 euros.
Yeah, not expensive.
Yeah, it was
Unless you have a dog.
Well, and of course that's like the budget. You're not picking your seat, you're not, extra bags, stuff like that. But to have that as a baseline price to me is unreal. And I didn't just find some lucky booking. That's kind of the norm. There's a handful of Ryanair, exactly what it was. I think there's one other one that somebody told me to check out. Budget airlines that if you are, especially if you're it's not necessarily perfect for what we're doing, where we're going to have luggage and we're staying in Europe for 2 weeks. But if you're in let's say your situation where when you were there, where Malaga was home base, but hey, we're going to go here for like when you had to go to get out of the country and get out of the, for a couple of days. But even the jaunt that you did to the UK, if you're going for a couple of days, so you're not lugging all of your stuff with you, it's
really inexpensive.
Yeah. So as of right now, that our journey is going to start in Berlin. There is a very, very well-known hypnotist, hypnotherapist, creator. His name is Anthony Jacquin, and another man, Aaron Alexander, who does some very, very interesting stuff that kind of blurs between the worlds of mentalism and hypnosis on stage. They're doing this really like immersive, collaborative weekend kind of boot camp kind of. I don't even know how to describe this thing, but it's super interesting. And it's kind of one of those things where, when you're in a relationship, when you're in a marriage, there'll be some there'll be some crazy zany idea that you want to throw out there, and the odds of your partner saying yes to this are slim to none. But if you don't throw it out there, they can't say yes. So I threw the idea out there, and I happened to throw the idea out there within earshot of my mother-in-law, who, if I am the fire in my relationship, my mother-in-law is an open, fountain of gasoline at all costs. She is the gas pump, fully squeezed, spray it on the fire, just ignite whatever. And before my wife even had a chance to respond, she's like, do it, travel the world while you can. And so,
good advice, Mom.
I thought that I was starting that conversation, 3 feet in a hole that I needed to dig out of to make it a yes. And sure enough, I was on a little bit of a three foot hill. So we're doing that. And then, so that starts in mid October. The Fringe Festival in Barcelona, the first show is actually on Halloween. And it is my sincere hope and desire that folks show up to this show in costume. And I've done a little bit of research, and you probably have more insight than that I would trust over my Google searches. But apparently adults do dress up. They don't do the trick-or-treating thing, I guess, in Spain, but if they're going to a party or an event, they might.
And you'll get expats. A lot of expats just from other places.
Which is good, because I think that's the basis of the culture that allows this Fringe Festival to exist in Barcelona. Because my first concern before I even applied is I can't really do an effective, fun show. I don't speak Spanish that well. I mean, I picked the Duolingo back up and currently have a 70-some day streak, in 5 years of Spanish in middle school and high school. But it's realizing what I've forgotten and what I still remember both amazed me through the Duolingo.
I'm pretty proud. I just hit my 700-day streak.
Woo! That is
on my birthday. You know, I love milestones.
yes.
And
Well, it's a perfect lineup, and it'll take you. I'm not even trying to do the math on how long it'll take you to hit a nice number on another birthday.
Right.
So I decided in this whole journey that I'm going to do something that I'm not saying that it's just for the wife, but focused on the wife. And I'm bouncing around and I'm juggling the dates. And if we can get into Barcelona a day earlier than we originally planned, I don't mind. So I carved out, and we are going to Paris in between for 2 days, 2 nights, 3 days, because I got an early flight in and a late flight out. And she's a big Disney person. I think I've mentioned that numerous times. I've certainly mentioned trips that we've taken to Disney. We did the Disney cruise years ago, which was whatever. So we're going to Euro Disney. What's that?
The Disney cruise was just last year.
Yeah. It's a weird place in my mind because we started in one year and did it over New Year's. So it's kind of a, was it last year? Was it the year before? The answer is yes. It was both. Yeah, 2023 into 24, I believe, is when we did that. So yeah, she'll get to check another Disneyland, Disney World, Disney park destination off the list. And
awesome.
She's big into the collectible pin trading, so it'll be a whole new world of pins. And she's like, I don't know what the rules are about trading. I'm like, look, who knows when we'll go back? We'll just buy stuff. You want to buy pins? You see pins you like? Don't worry about it. Let's just do it.
Let me know, because we got people in Paris. Luca, who I just mentioned, is in Paris. I know folks there.
And anybody that is on the WhatsApp group, and if you're listening and you know who you are, then you know who you are. Obviously, you can connect to me through there. I will be at any time in that journey. I'm actually, I guess I'll bring this up. I am about to launch a Kickstarter where in this Kickstarter, it's, and if anybody's not familiar, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform. A lot of people use it to raise money, to launch new products. For me, I'm trying to build kind of a community of folks that are interested in this journey, the concept of this show, possibly even suggesting routines for this show ahead of time. So I'm going to have a private, dedicated, behind the scenes for this whole journey WhatsApp group that starts from this Kickstarter. So for as little as $5 American, and whatever that translates to, anybody that's interested will be able to see behind the scenes stuff, see photos from all these places, connect with me. That is going to launch Friday. So if we are we going to drop this on Wednesday like the normal?
That's the goal.
Okay, so 2 days from now, if you find it, the campaign will be live. So you'll actually be able to look through the different perks and back it if you'd like to. Again, the lowest level is, and the lowest entry point is just, $5 and joining that group, getting all those updates. Some of that's going to be video clips, behind the scenes stuff, photos of La Grata Familia, whatever else I might run into. Again, we're going to be jumping from Berlin to Paris to Barcelona. There's a tier in there, and if you're actually listening to this because you subscribed and you get the alerts and you're surprised that, wait, new episode of Big Sexy Digital Nomad, how great is that? right now you can go in there and get notified of when the campaign launches. So even if this is my kind of call to action here, even if you have no interest in backing the campaign at all financially, which is completely fine. I know it's not for everybody. It would please me greatly because all of this stuff runs off of an algorithm and social proof and the engagement that it gets throughout the process. If you would at least go and get the notifications for the Kickstarter, that is a list that I've been pushing, that has been growing, and that will help it on launch. Because ultimately my sincere hope is that when this thing launches, that it gets kind of profiled and highlighted by Kickstarter, which really exposes it to the entire world. There are thousands of projects that are currently going on Kickstarter at any given time.
Hundreds of thousands. There's a lot.
Tons of stuff. And if you're not familiar with the Kickstarter platform, go check it out because there's some really, really cool stuff across all sorts of interest that you can. I mean, you're doing three things really. You're in many of these, you're being part of a community, you're helping somebody's dream become reality, and they usually have perks, so you get cool stuff with it too. For the type of show that I'm doing, which I talked about earlier, there's a perk, there's a level of funding in here, which is really on the low end, that allows anybody to suggest a routine and it'll go into the mix for consideration. And I'm toying around with how I'm going to actually run this show. Whether or not I'm absolutely going to go through all of these suggestions and take out anything that's inappropriate, anything that's unsafe. I'm not going to do anything, there's not going to be anything
that for Drink Your Mind After Dark.
Right. No after dark stuff at this. Although one of my shows is going to be at like 11 o'clock at night. It's cool because I'm doing 3 shows so far at 3 different venues, which is cool. Now, nothing's officially out there yet, so nobody can go get tickets yet. The website that I'm using, which is going to be the website for everything. Like right now, if you go to carnivalofdreams.com, you will see where you can sign up for the notifications for the Kickstarter. Come Friday, Carnival of Dreams is going to funnel you right to the Kickstarter. And when we get to the end of the Kickstarter, by then, the show should be announced officially. The tickets should be available. Then the website's going to transform yet again to basically where am I going to be, et cetera, so that people that want to get tickets can get tickets. And these are not huge venues. I think the biggest venue that I'm performing in caps out at 90 seats. So if you know somebody that's in Barcelona, if you're in Barcelona, if you're finding this that way, which I hope that you are, I will make sure that with me is some sort of Big Sexy Digital Nomad swag. So if you go to one of these shows and you've listened to this, approach me after the show. I mean, you should approach me after the show anyway, but approach me after the show because I still probably have about 15 or 20 where in the world is Big Sexy t-shirts, and first come, first serve. You find me in the wild, especially if you find me in Barcelona, that shirt is yours. One of them while they're there. I would love to go out.
Spanish friends, all my friends in Malaga, get your ass up to Barcelona.
And if you can't, hopefully you know folks who are. This would be a big deal for me, going to Judge Mentalist on Facebook and sharing it with friends that are also in Spain or in that area. Because again, I take for granted, or the opposite of take for granted, to me, traveling around a country like the United States is a chore. And I understand, and I'm starting to appreciate that it's not as much of a chore to say, hey, I am in Malaga all the way down here, and I am going to get on a train, and I am going to go to Barcelona. Like it's a lot more doable.
It is more doable.
than in the States.
Not as easy as we assumed when we're living there, but it is doable. And we found out when we got there, we're like, oh, we can't just take a weekend up on train willy-nilly. It didn't quite work that way. It does if you're resident. It's a bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on tourist.
But if you're looking for something to do and you're in Europe for that Halloween, you know, it's so right now, the shows that I know I have, and this is a fluid process. I'm not going to lose any of the shows that I have, but when I say fluid process, I may get more because I've reached out to the venues that I'm working with and I've said, look, I'm in town for these days. So if somebody cancels, hit me up. If I'm available, I'd love to do more shows. So right now I have shows on October 31st, November 1st, November 2nd. So if somebody were looking to make plans, those are the dates that I know for a fact I'll be doing shows.
How long is the festival?
The festival runs from the 31st through the 9th.
Okay.
But I am there till the 6th because I have a run of fundraiser shows back in the States that starts on the 8th. So I have six fundraiser shows in November.
Changing topics. Any plans on going to Scoop Fest?
I can't do Scoop Fest, unfortunately, this year. I want it to.
Same.
Hopefully,
hopefully that I'd be well enough and financially capable of going to Scoop Fest. But my recovery isn't as fast as I hope. It's good, but not as fast as I hope. And now that we have to have surgery, that changes everything. We still have to go back to the States for the visa run, but we won't be able to do Scoop Fest. So shout out to Scoop listening. And if you're able to go Scoop Fest, tell us one back for us. We're there in spirit.
Absolutely. And the next one. The next Scoop Fest, we're going to put that firmly in our targets.
Start saving that money now. And I look forward to it.
What do you think? So there are, per Matt Donnelly's instructions, suggestions, whatever you want to call it, he encouraged me to put 2 add-ons to this Kickstarter campaign. One for Scoops and one for babblers of the Abracababble ilk. If you are a Scoop, you've already heard the episode in which I came on and pitched that. So you will be able to have me take a video screaming salt pork in front of some piece of architecture, some famous monument, some place. And look, when it comes to the Scoop community, when it comes to the Big Sexy Digital Nomad community, I am at your discretion within reason. I'm not going to put myself in any sort of bodily harm. But if you have some dream idea of, hey, can you get a video of you doing this? The answer is probably yes, because ultimately what I'm looking for in this Kickstarter campaign is to just spread the word, build a community, get more people interested in hypnosis, more people interested in my hypnosis shows. Hopefully some people suggest some fun routines and just get some fun stuff about it. So it's I'm not going to nickel and dime you. If you're like, hey, I want this video twice, I'm going to do the video twice. What's something other than me just saying safe travels in front of monuments? Do we get a Fox cameo here?
Yes. My wife just went on the balcony and left Fox on the bed. So now he's barking. So it would be doing that till she come back in. Normally I get up and go get him, but getting up is difficult these days.
Well, welcome back to the podcast world, Fox. We appreciate you.
I would say travels. I think, pictures of swag in the wild. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, though.
Listeners, let us know.
I'm glad that you mentioned, though, swag in the wild, because that reminds me that not only when I do those videos am I going to do those videos and say whatever, but I have our t-shirts that I can wear while doing any of them for our folks. I've got either a Gershman's Magic Shop and Deli shirt for the Babblers. I probably end up wearing that one. Or one of the older Matt the Mind Noodler shirts, and then obviously some Scoop shirts. I think the one that probably ends up making the trip is Sideways Like a Typewriter. If you know, you know. So yeah, definitely will make sure that I'm wearing those when I go out to do those.
Do you have
videos.
a mouth thing about shirt?
I don't think I do.
Pretty cool shirt. It's just the symbols.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that was for a conversation.
Many of those shirts are conversation starters, that's for sure. Yes.
So yeah, just swag in the wild.
And then there's also, there's whatever it is, it's all open. If you're there when it launches and you've got an idea, put it in the comments, because all the research that I've been doing, all the folks that I've talked to who have successfully run campaigns like this have said, it almost is like its own social media platform. So not only people kicking money in, and of course, if people kick in money, and I've talked to some folks that I know are going to back it, they're going to back it right away. So I know that it's going to hit some of the money goals that are going to get it the best chance of being elevated into more of a sphere there. But things like when people ask questions, make sure that I'm responding to them, and when they're putting comments, respond to the comments. So please, if you've got questions,
to help your Instagram game. Every time I see a post, I like it, comment, and try to share just to keep it going.
Yeah, all of that stuff is helpful. And when October hits, the team that is doing those videos for me, because I hired a company that I've basically dumped all of the video of my shows on. They have the full run of every show. They're making these clips. I'm approving them. They're posting them. Everything that goes out in the month of October is going to be there with hashtags about Barcelona, and it's going to be designed to drive people awareness-wise and otherwise to Barcelona. So all of that kind of stuff helps. It definitely seems to me like an area that, they've got a pretty thriving English-speaking comedy scene, which is what is responsible for birthing the Fringe Festival there in the first place. I won't know till I get there. I won't know till I see what kind of audiences there are. But there are people that have already found me that are like, hey, when are you doing shows? And I guess from social media posts that I've put out there, I've had people find that, because there must not be a whole lot of hypnosis in Spain. I don't know definitively that is or isn't the case, but everybody I've talked to has told me that you're going to fall in love with this city. You're going to want to go back. And you know me, I like to try to book. I like to try to book shows as an excuse to go somewhere. So I am trying to
tell you, like everybody told us, guard your wallet. Barcelona is the #1 pickpocket city in the world. So just be mindful. We didn't have any incidents, luckily, but we were mindful.
So one of the positive things is that last year when we went to Egypt, my wife put together all of the different precautions, has, bags that double lock and all of this other stuff and go over the shoulder and really can be hidden. So some of the good thing is that we've already put into place or have in place some of those precautions that are helpful. But again, some of it boils down to don't take a lot of things you don't need with you out when you're out and about.
Oh, I wish you knew that. We took a lot of things we didn't need. But, live and learn.
Yep.
So, the things are exciting. Things are moving forward. I'm recovering, which is helpful. I mean, I couldn't do this when I first had this happen. Now I'm strong enough to say we've been talking for almost an hour.
Yeah. And when you first reached out about, hey, let's start getting the wheels into motion, you were talking about doing maybe a 20-minute episode, and we've more than doubled that. So
true. Well, we got a lot of shit to say.
That's for sure.
We got a lot to catch people up on. It's really exciting. Also, I should mention my GoFundMe. If you're able to help, I do have a GoFundMe. I think it's like GoFundMe.com/bigsexyrecovery or something like that. But I know the link that you get isn't as easy to remember. But I put them on social media. So check out my Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Threads or Blue Sky or X. I put it everywhere.
It'll be in the description of this episode too.
100%. I'll put it there for sure. But speaking of, I think I've reached my limit. I don't know when we'll do this again soon though, because I'm capable. It might not be weekly, but maybe it will. Who knows? Right now, there's a lot of moving parts. And I know I hate the way I sound. Right? Like I can talk, people can kind of understand me, but I hate it. Because my brain works faster than my body will let me speak. So, that.
In time.
In time.
You're definitely better than you were day one.
Yeah, so let's see if I remember how to do this. So if you want to subscribe to the podcast, go to bullwiththebutthole.com. where you can join the Patreon, get access to member-only material. I post library updates on there. Also, what else? Oh, email us. Here's about social media. Send messages. If you have any questions about what's going on with either of us, shoot us an email at bigsexynomad@gmail.com and we'll answer on air. Also, we talk a lot about merch. The Big Sexy shirt. You go, where is Big Sexy? But like, where? Like you're putting on clothes. Where bigsexy.com. With that, we appreciate y'all. In the meantime, safe travels.